Okay, very good morning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss the last unit of our syllabus in image and video processing, that is unit number 7, two-dimensional motion estimation. Okay, so this is our last unit of syllabus, and within this 2 hours, we are going to finish this unit. Okay, now these are the content, right, in your syllabus that we are going to discuss. Optical flow, what do you mean by uh, color video, composite video, then how we can estimate the motion. Okay, that means the playing series of frames or series of images that we are knowing as a video, right? So how to estimate that video or the moving objects or motion of that particular object, that part we are going to discuss in this unit. So these are the course objectives, course outcomes. Okay, so after this you will have the basic idea of what is video, concept of video processing as a motion estimation. Okay, this is the course outcome. Okay, now we will start with the actual contents. Now first, in a very brief, actually this part we have discussed in last unit also. So first we will discuss the fundamental concept in video, right? So basic definition of video we have discussed earlier, right, in last unit. So what is video? Video is a series of images. A very simple definition, right? Video is a series of images that varying with a time, or you can, in other way, you can say it's a series of images and time varying signal, right? It's a series of images and time varying signal. And the video camera do the same job. Video camera will that device that captures a series of images over period of time. Okay, and where to display whatever we have captured? On a TV monitor at faster rate, that means 24 frames per second, and each frame is again combination of images, right? 24 फ्रेम पर सेकंड, राईट? म्हणजे एका सेकंदात अशा जर का 24 इमेजेस, राईट, एका सेकंदात 24 इमेजेस, इमॅजिन व्हॉट द स्पीड. एका सेकंदात 24 अशा इमेजेस जर का तुमच्या डोळ्यासमोरून गेल्या, यू फील दॅट इज अ व्हिडिओ और एनी मूव्हिंग ऑब्जेक्ट. And why you are feeling that? Because of the persistence of vision, because our eyes are able to detect the change in 1/50 म्हणजे त्या चेंजचा टाइम जर का ह्याच्यापेक्षा जास्त असेल तरच आपण त्यात बायफर्गेशन करू शकतो. ओके, दिस इज द वन ऑब्जेक्ट, दिस इज द सेकंड ऑब्जेक्ट. तुम्ही मे बी 12th स्टँडर्ड मध्ये फिजिक्स मध्ये एक एक्सपेरिमेंट केलेला आहे की एक उदबत्ती जर का तुमच्या डोळ्यासमोर जर का फास्ट मध्ये फिरवली तर यू 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 फाइंड द लाईन ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर. किंवा पंखा, व्हेरी सिम्पल एक्झाम्पल वी विल टेक. आपण जर का फॅन जर का 5 किंवा 6 स्पीड मध्ये लावला, कॅन यू एबल टू आयडेंटिफाय डिफरंट ब्लेड्स? नॉर्मली इट हॅज 3 ब्लेड्स, बट यू आयडेंटिफाय इट्स अ कंटिन्युअस ब्लेड. व्हाय? इट्स अ पर्सिस्टन्स ऑफ विजन. बरोबर आहे का नाही? पंखा जर का फुल स्पीड मध्ये चालू असेल तर तुम्हाला त्यातली पाती आयडेंटिफाय करता येतात का? नाही येतात, ते तुम्हाला कळतच नाही. यू फील इट्स लाईक सेट ऑफ एन नंबर ऑफ ब्लेड्स आर मुव्हिंग अराउंड, राईट? तर हे कशामुळं? हे पर्सिस्टन्स ऑफ विजन मुळे. आणि ह्याचाच उपयोग आपण व्हिडिओ सिग्नल बनवण्यासाठी करतो, राईट? इफ यू पास 24 frames per second, your eyes are not able to recognize, or your eyes are not able to bifurcate between the different frames, and you feel that it's a moving object or it's a video motion. It's a motion video. It's because of the persistence of vision. All of you getting? समजते तुम्हाला? So, and this is what the fundamental of video. Okay, it's a series of images and it's a time varying signal. Okay, and when you represent this signal, or when you display this signal, okay, or this video signal at very fast rate, that means 24 frames per second, you feel it's a motion or moving objects. Okay. Now, process of capturing the digital image or video. So yesterday this point we have discussed. What is the process? First, scene is focused on a light sensitive plate in a camera through lens. Then, depending on illumination on different points of scene, electric charge is produced on a photosensitive plate. Okay. The electron beam scans electric charge and produces the video signal. Okay. आपण जे काल शिकलो working of video camera, the same thing we have discussed. Okay. Now capturing digital video. How digital video are capturing? Through a video camera, and working of that video camera we have already discussed. Then composite video signal. So this part also we have discussed in a last lecture, right? It has a different what you can say pulses, horizontal pulse, vertical pulse. Then it have different signals at different DC levels, percentage of DC levels. Okay. And composite video and analog video signal. So this block diagram represent how actually the analog composite analog video signal is displayed. So you have a camera, then you have a gamma corrector. That means from camera you have a red component, green component, blue component. Then you have a RGB to YC1C2 converter. That means luminance, chroma and chroma. Then you have a composite video encoder. That composite video encoder, this is the transmitter. That means whatever you have recorded through a camera, you have converted into a composite video, and then now you are passing it through a transmission line. After transmission line, what you are getting? You have a composite video decoder. Then you have again luminance, chroma and chroma 2, and again you have to convert back it to a RGB. You have convert back it to a RGB. Okay. Because and it's the easiest way to transmit a color signal. First you have to convert that signal into a chroma signal and then transmit it. Okay. Now next thing is backward compatibility issues. Okay. Composite conversion of RGB to YC1C2 is a necessary for backward compatibility issue. Then backward, what is this backward compatibility issue? Is compatibility in a historical monochrome TV and modern color TV. Okay. So you must have that, see, irrespective of your TV model, or it may be a monochrome TV or colors TV, you have that proper scene or proper visibility, right? So it's depending upon the technology, which technology. And nowadays it's like what you can say, vanished from the everything. Now in every, what you can say, everything is like LED, LCD TV. Okay. Even you are not able to see the CRT TV. आता आपल्याला ते कॅथोड रे टीव्ही सुद्धा बघायला मिळत नाही. Everything is LCD and LED. Okay. So this thing is now it's of least importance. Okay. Now this is a RCA connector. That means it's a composite video connector. This connector is used nowadays also in some old CRT TV. It is required to connect the TV with that your modem or the dish TV set-top box, right? This connector is used. So it's have left audio, right audio, then composite video signal. So it's a RCA connector that we are using. Okay. So it have a white terminal left for left audio, red terminal for right audio, and yellow for a composite video signal. Okay. So this is a pin configuration of this RCA connector. Okay. And this connector is supported by NTSC, PAL and SICAM also. Okay. This three video transmission system is supported by this connector. Okay. Doesn't matter you have you are using NTSC or you are using PAL or you are using SICAM. This connector is useful in any standard. And one more thing is RCA stands for Radio Corporation of America, right? So this particular standard and its pin configuration, even color configuration, is invented and designed and specified by the Radio Corporation of America. ओके. हे अमेरिकेमध्ये इन्व्हेंट झालेले आहे आणि आता वर्ल्ड वाईड यूज होतो प्रत्येक टीव्ही सिस्टीमसाठी. मग ती NTSC असू द्या, पाल ट्रान्समिशन असू द्या किंवा SCAM ट्रान्समिशन असू द्या. ओके. हे तीन काय आहेत बेसिकली, NTSC, पाल आणि SCAM. तर हे व्हिडिओ सिग्नल ट्रान्समिट करायच्या तीन मेथड्स आहेत. व्हिडिओ सिग्नल ट्रान्समिट करायच्या किंवा टीव्ही ब्रॉडकास्टिंगच्या 3 मेथड्स आहेत. ओके, इन डिफरंट कंट्री डिफरंट मेथड्स आर यूज्ड. In different country different methods are used, but basically it is a RCA connector. Okay, now again we will come back to a digital video. Okay, so in digital video you require a sampling and quantization of analog video signal using directly digital camera to capture digital video. That means if you have analog signal, then you have to convert it to a digital. If you want that signal to convert into a digital one, you require a sampling and quantization. And if you are using a digital camera, then there is no need of conversion. It will record the data in terms of bits only. That means digital term only. There is no analog thing. Okay, so these are the two ways that you can use a digital video. Now we will talk about this sampling and quantization. So yesterday we have discussed about that ITU R601 standard. Okay, so in that we have studied the range also. 13.5 megahertz is the standard range for NTSC and PAL and SICAP. Okay, this is the standard range. Okay, now this is the block diagram shows how this sampling and quantization is happening. So first you have a composite video, then you have anti-aliasing filter, then you have a sampler, then you have a quantizer, then you have a video encoder, and then you will get the digital composite video. Okay, see, the first composite video is of monochrome color video. You want to, that means that is analog color video, and you want to transmit it to a digital composite video. So you have to go for this sampling and quantization. Okay, now color models in video. Okay, so normally in America they are using the YIQ. Okay, in some countries YUV model is also used. So what is this YIQ and YUV? Y stands for yellow, I stands for indigo. Okay, and Q stands for there is one color name that means it's a shade is between the gray and somewhat between the black. So it's a shade between the gray and black. Okay, so it's a YIQ model. So this particular standard, see, basically all these models are derived from the RGB only by subtracting a particular value. For example, you can see here Y is nothing but 0.299 of red, 0.586 of green, and 0.144 of blue. That means if you add these percentage of this basic RGB, then you will get the yellow. By subtracting blue, by subtracting this yellow, that means this thing from blue, you will get U, right? And by subtracting yellow from the R, you will get a V. So in this way, you are getting the YUV. Always remember, in unit number first, I have discussed you one thing. There is a primary color and there is a secondary colors, right? Primary colors are RGB. These are the primary colors, and these are always additive colors. Whereas secondary colors are subtractive colors. Whereas primary colors are RGB. You derive anything, you go for HSI model, you go for what you can say, RGB is the basic model, then HSI is there, yellow, cyan, magenta is there, right? Yellow, cyan, magenta. This is also one type of model is there. Okay, that is used for your printing technology. Okay, HSI model is used for your color television. Okay, RGB model is used for the image processing tools, right? But basically it is always what you can say, that basically chrominance signal is always formed by the RGB only. From that RGB, you can derive the HSI. From that RGB only, you can go for yellow, cyan, magenta model. But basic model is RGB. Always remember, because these are the primary colors. हे प्रायमरी कलर्स आहे. त्यामुळे कुठलाही जेव्हा व्हिडिओ कॅप्चर होतो तो काय डायरेक्टली HSI किंवा येलो, सायन, मॅजेंटा मध्ये नाही कॅप्चर होत, तो RGB मॉडेल मध्येच कॅप्चर होतो. ओके, नेक्स्ट थिंग इज advantages of digital video. Okay, what are the advantages of digital video? सो मोर इफिशियंट टू स्टोर अँड ट्रान्समिट. बरोबर आहे. डिजिटल सिस्टीम स्पेस कमी लागणार का जास्त लागणार अनालॉग पेक्षा डिजिटलला? To store any digital thing, right, as compared to the analog one, the storage required is larger or lesser? Can anyone?
Less.
Lesser, but obviously to store a digital thing you require less memory. This is the one of the biggest advantage. Second one, bandwidth for transmission, less bandwidth for transmission. It requires a very less bandwidth for transmission. Then it requires less space to store. Same thing we have discussed. Data can be duplicated easily. Okay, so digital file can be duplicated very easily. File transfer is easy, more accurate than analog one, but obvious and very true. Digital systems are more accurate and analog as compared to the analog, because that analog one is affected by different noise. Digital system, see, in digital system is also noise there, but as compared to analog, there is a less noise, what you can say, interruption. In digital system, there is less noise interruption as compared to the analog one. In analog, there is a lot of environmental noise, that is lot of environmental factors that affect the analog system. Okay, for digital system there is noise, no problem, noiseless system is like ideal, but as compared to analog, digital systems have less noise, that way we can say. Okay, then more robust to signal degradation. This is also very true, because there is no electrical there is no, what you can say, different levels of voltages. Okay, there is one standard level voltage only, there is between the 0 and 5 volt, only two voltage levels we are using to transmit digital signal. बरोबर आहे का नाही? 0 म्हणजे ग्राउंड आणि 1 म्हणजे +5 वोल्ट, दोनच व्होल्टेज लेवल आहेत. दुसरी आहे का कुठली? नाहीये. Okay, or if you are using that different NRZ technique, non return to zero, that different digital techniques, then there will be a -5 and +5. That means there are, you choose any system, there are only two voltage levels, but if you compare the analog signal, it can be of many voltages, it can be of many voltages. So but obvious, so robust signal degradation, and if there are two voltage levels, so it is easy to detect the faults also, it is easy to detect the faults also. So but it's a most robust. Then editing is more easier. To what you can say, deal with a digital system and to manipulate something, to program something, to edit something is very always easy as compared to the analog one, because for analog you require the circuitry, you require that particular IC, different voltages, different components, then and then only you can process that. Okay, but if you have a digital, okay, so digital processing is very easy. Digital processing is very easy because you have different systems that supports the digital addition or digital processing. You have a digital signal processor IC, DSP ICs that process your signal, and again you can easily convert back into analog. That means digital processing is easy. Then the last one advantage of digital video is easy to convert from one format to other format. But obvious, okay, it's very easy to convert analog to digital and digital to analog, and that's why we are preferring the digital one only. Okay, so these are the several advantages of having the digital video. Now this is what the camera, okay, working of camera, how does 2D image is recorded. So this is how the basic what you can say, working of your camera. Okay, you have an object, then you have a lens in between, and so you will get the reverse object, like rise in our eyes. आपल्या डोळ्यात जसं चित्र रेकॉर्ड होतं तसंच कॅमेरामध्ये पण होतं. ओके, सो दिस इज 3D motion to 2D motion converter, or you can represent in 2D motion. Okay, 2D motion म्हणजे काय, within a same plane, it have only x and y axis. Okay, but if you extend that into a 3 dimension, that means x, y and z, then you will get such a kind of 3D motions. Okay, then you will get such a kind of 3D motion. So it's a 3D motion to 2D motion. Then 2D motion corresponding to a rigid object motion. Okay, that means how you can determine or how you can estimate the motion, two-dimensional motion of any rigid object. So for that purpose, you are using this mathematical tools and equation, right? So first matrix, then you have R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 to up to R9 plus XYZ plus TX, TY, TZ. And what is this X dash, Y dash? So it's a motion ranges. That means the perspective projection. That means how you are looking to that two-dimensional object, right? So you have the first point and you have the last point, two-dimensional. Barabar hai? You are not considering that Z-axis. Only within a single plane, you have a X-axis and Y-axis. So you have to define its coordinates in a X-axis and its coordinates into a Y-axis. So this is the general keys for two-dimensional motion estimation. Okay, so this is the sample field motion estimation. So this is the first figure. This is the second figure, right? That means there is a change in motion. And how you are estimating motion? Like this. That means this arrow indicates their initial pixel was here. After moving, that pixel shift to this point, right? Here, initial pixel is here. Your motion is shifted to this point. The same thing. Initial pixel was here, but after motion, it got shifted to this point, right? It got shifted to this point. Similarly, your initial pixel was here. It got shifted to this point. After motion, after moving that part or moving that object, right? So this is a sample motion field. Now, we will talk about what do you mean by, or what do you actually mean by the motion? Okay, what do you actually mean by the motion? Now, each displayed image is called frame, and bunch of frames is called a video. बरोबर आहे. आपण मगाशी पाहिलं की एक फ्रेम म्हणजे एक इमेज असते आणि अशा अनेक इमेजेस किंवा फ्रेम्स तुम्ही एकत्र केल्या आणि त्या जर का फास्ट मोशन मध्ये जर का तुम्ही तुमच्या डोळ्यासमोरून पाठवल्या, इट फॉर्म्स अ मूव्हिंग व्हिडिओ और मूव्हिंग ऑब्जेक्ट, राइट? Speed of frame display is 25 frames per second. In some cases 24 will be there. Okay, 24 or 25 will have the same effect. Video occupy lots of memory, so need to be compressed. बरोबर आहे. मग जर का okay, it is okay with single frame, okay, but if you are passing such as say 1000 frames, okay, 1000 frames, 25 frames per second, अशा जर का 1000 सेकंड पर्यंत तुम्ही फ्रेम्स पाठवले किंवा इफ यू वॉन्ट टू पास द 1000 फ्रेम्स, 25 फ्रेम्स पर सेकंड, अशा 1000 फ्रेम किंवा 1000 इमेजेस तुम्हाला पास करायच्या आहेत, तर त्याला मेमरी जास्त लागते. आणि मग ह्याच्यावरचं सोल्युशन काय? यू रिक्वायर कॉम्प्रेशन. ते व्हिडिओ आपल्याला कॉम्प्रेस करावं लागतं. टू रिड्यूस द साइज ऑफ दॅट व्हिडिओ यू रिक्वायर अ कॉम्प्रेशन. ओके, नाउ अगेन what you can talk about this motion? The simplest way of video coding, the transmit difference between the current frame and previous frame, right? Then different frames will only have the motion information. The difference per motion is essential for processing and compression. That means हे जेव्हा तुम्हाला एखादा व्हिडिओ, राइट, व्हिडिओ म्हणजे काय, आता तुम्हाला कळलं, इट्स अ फास्ट ट्रान्समिटेड फ्रेम्स, इट्स कॉल्ड अ व्हिडिओ. मग हे जर का तुम्हाला कॉम्प्रेस करायचा असतो, त्यावेळी तुम्हाला कुठल्या गोष्टी माहित असाव्या लागतात. सो फर्स्ट यू मस्ट नो द करंट फ्रेम अँड प्रिव्हियस फ्रेम, देन यू मस्ट नो at what speed that frames are moving, then you must know the different frames will only have the motion information, then you must know the difference per motion. That means म्हणजे प्रत्येक मोशन मध्ये किती डिफरन्स आहे हे पण तुम्हाला माहित असावं लागतं. and then only you are able to compress that video, right? Then only you are able to compress that video. Now what is optical flow? The pattern of apparent motion of object within a scene because of motion between observer and scene, right? So it's optical flow is nothing but the pattern of motion of object within a scene because of the motion between observer and scene. See, तुम्ही जेव्हा एखादं मूव्हिंग ऑब्जेक्ट बघता, तुम्ही स्थिर असता ना, का तुम्ही पण इकडे तिकडे जात असता? नो, यू आर ॲट स्टेडी. व्हॉट इज मूव्हिंग? द फ्रेम्स आर मूव्हिंग. मूव्हिंग काय? ह्याच्यात फ्रेम्स मूव्ह होत आहेत, राइट, at very fast speed. so that you can feel it's a moving object, right? And it is called as optical flow. Okay. Now, motion estimation. Now we will talk about the second last point of our this chapter is a motion estimation. आता आपण काय काय पाहिलं, what is video, what is basic standards we have used. Okay, up till now what we have covered, fundamentals of video, right? Video is a combination of frames and each frame is a single image, right? And it's a time variant signal. बरोबर आहे, व्हिडिओ हा टाइम व्हेरियंट सिग्नल आहे. If you pass 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second, you feel that it's a moving. You feel that it's a moving. Then we have discussed about different standards. Okay, what is sampling, how we are conducting sampling, how video signal is transmitting, right? Using a video transmitter. That means you have video encoder, you have that RGB to YC1 C2 converter and all that. Okay, so basically from camera, how you are transmitting the video signal to another place, that part also we have discussed. Then we have discussed about the composite video signal. Then what is motion, okay, basic properties of motion. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the motion estimation. Okay, now motion estimation analyzes successive frames and identifies the moving objects. Okay, this motion estimation analyzes successive frames and identifies moving object. Now, what is actually the motion estimation? This motion estimation determines motion vectors to describe the transformation from one 2D image to other 2D image, and usually from adjacent frames in a video sequence. Motion म्हणजे काय तर it's a motion vector that describes the transformation from one 2D image to another 2D image. म्हणजे आणि that see, one 2D image means what? Single frame. See, frame and image is one and the same thing. First clear this thing in your mind. Frame आणि एक इमेज ही आपण एकालाच म्हणतो. एक फ्रेम म्हणजे एक इमेज. मग अशा एका इमेज मधून दुसऱ्या इमेज मध्ये त्या ऑब्जेक्टचं रिलेशन काय आहे किंवा तो ऑब्जेक्ट कुठं ट्रान्सफर झालेला आहे, राईट? अँड दॅट्स द मोशन व्हेक्टर्स अँड दॅट्स द मोशन एस्टिमेशन. मोशन व्हेक्टर्स म्हणजे काय? इट इज टू डिस्क्राइब द ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम वन 2D इमेज टू अनदर. म्हणजे एका फ्रेम मधून तो दुसऱ्या फ्रेम मध्ये कुठे ट्रान्सफर झालेला आहे किंवा कुठे त्याचं लोकेशन चेंज झालेलं आहे हे तुम्हाला डिटरमाइन करावं लागतं किंवा डिस्क्राइब करावं लागतं using motion vectors, and this process is called as motion estimation. And this process is called as motion estimation. Now, what is motion vectors? First, we have to study that part. It relates to the whole image or a specific part, such as rectangular block or any arbitrary shape patches or even per pixel. बरोबर आहे. मग आता आपण फक्त पाहिलं की एक पिक्सेलचं लोकेशन कुठं चेंज झालं, बट इट कॅन बी एनी रेक्टँग्युलर ब्लॉक. बरोबर आहे. तो एक पिक्सेल पण असू शकतो किंवा त्या एका इमेज किंवा त्या फ्रेम मधला एखादा पार्ट सुद्धा असू शकतो. इट कॅन बी रेक्टँग्युलर पार्ट कन्सिस्ट ऑफ सेव्हरल पिक्सेल्स किंवा एनी आर्बिट्ररी शेप्ड पॅचेस किंवा कुठलाही एखादा रॅन्डम शेपचा तो सेट असू शकतो. दॅट ऑल्सो कन्सिस्ट ऑफ सेव्हरल पिक्सेल्स. म्हणजे मोशन व्हेक्टर हा काय फक्त एका पिक्सेलचाच असतो असं नाही. दॅट कॅन बी ऑफ एनी पार्ट, that can be of any arbitrary shaped object within that frame. त्या फ्रेम मधले तो एका पिक्सेलचा सुद्धा असू शकतो किंवा एका पार्टचा सुद्धा असू शकतो. दॅट मे बी ऑफ रेक्टँग्युलर शेप और एनी अदर शेप, डझंट मॅटर. म्हणजे मोशन व्हेक्टर इट्स रिलेट्स द होल इमेज और स्पेसिफिक पार्ट्स, राईट? दॅट मीन्स हा एका पूर्ण इमेजला किंवा त्यातल्या एखाद्या स्पेसिफिक पार्टला तो रिलेट करतो. तो एखाद्या इमेजला किंवा त्याच्या स्पेसिफिक पार्टला तो रिलेट करतो. मग तो स्पेसिफिक पार्ट म्हणजे एखादा पिक्सेल पण असू शकतो. इट्स जस्ट अ सिंगल पिक्सेल ऑल्सो, or it can be any arbitrary shape, right? Any arbitrary shape. That may be a rectangular, that may be a square, that may be a circular, or that may be any random shape you can consider. Okay, now what is motion vector? It is represented by a translational model or many other models that can approximate the motion of a real video camera, such as rotation and translation. Okay, so we have studied the basic idea or basic definition of motion vector. What is motion vector? It relates to the whole image or specific part, and that part can be a single pixel or any shape Okay, motion vectors of the object represented as a 2D vectors, and always that relation of that part or that single pixel is in the form of two-dimensional vector. That means 2D vector. Okay, now we are going to discuss the 2D motion versus optical flow. 2D motion versus optical flow. Okay, so what is 2D motion? The projection of a 3D motion depending on 3D object motion and projection operator. So it's a 2D motion. And what is optical flow? So it can be perceived as a 2D motion based on changes in image pattern. Also depend on illusion and object surface texture. Okay, so these are the definition of 2D motion and optical flow, right? These are the definition of 2D motion and optical flow. So on the left, a sphere is rotating under a constant ambient illumination, but observed image does not change. म्हणजे बघा, लेफ्ट हँड साइडची इमेज घ्या की ती इमेज कंटिन्युअसली रोटेट होते अंडर अ कॉन्स्टंट अँबिएंट इल्युमिनेशन, म्हणजे कॉन्स्टंट लाईट सोर्स त्याच्यावर आपण थ्रो केलेला आहे आणि त्याच्यात ती रोटेट होते. सो यू विल नॉट फील देर इज अ चेंज, बट on the right hand point the light source is rotating allowed the stationary sphere, causing highlighting point on a sphere to rotate. right? म्हणजे आता आपण पहिल्यांदा काय केलंय, एक कॉन्स्टंट लाईट सोर्स ठेवलाय आणि त्याच्या सोबती तो स्पियर रोटेट केलाय, त्याच्या भोवती स्पियर रोटेट केलाय. आणि दुसऱ्या वेळी काय केलंय, तो स्पियर कॉन्स्टंट ठेवलाय आणि त्याच्या भोवताली दोन लाईट सोर्सेस रोटेट केले. फरक लक्षात येतोय? पहिल्यांदी एक कॉन्स्टंट लाईट सोर्स आहे आणि स्पियर रोटेट होतोय, दुसऱ्यांदा तो स्पियर कॉन्स्टंट आहे आणि ते आपण त्याच्या पुढे आणि मागे एक लाईट सोर्स बसवला आणि ते लाईट सोर्स आपण रोटेट करतोय. सो दिस इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन द ऑप्टिकल फ्लो अँड 2D motion. Okay, so these are the ambiguities in motion estimation. So what are the ambiguities? That means what are the confusion in motion estimation? So optical flow equation only constrain the flow vector in a gradient direction. This is the first. Second one, the flow vector in a tangent direction is underdetermined. This is second thing. Third, in a regions with constant brightness, the flow is undetermined. Right? The flow is undetermined. The motion estimation is unreliable in regions where flat textures and more reliable near edges. So motion estimation is very unreliable near flat textures. That means the surface is flat, but it's very easy or it's a reliable near edges. That means cut. Difference between two regions is the edges. So motion estimation is very easy or reliable near edges where compared to any constant surface or any flat surface. So these are the ambiguities. So general consideration for motion estimation. Okay, so what are the general consideration for this motion estimation? So two categories of approach. So for this general consideration of motion estimation, you have two categories of approaches. Feature based. First one is a feature based. What is this feature based? More often used in object tracking, 3D reconstruction from 2D. Okay, so this is a feature based approach for motion estimation. Second approach is intensity based. What is this intensity based approach? This approach is based on constant intensity assumption. More often used for a motion compensated prediction required in a video coding frame interpolation. Okay, so remember, for motion estimation there are two approaches. First is a feature based and second one is a intensity based. Right? Now the three important questions that we must discuss: how to represent the motion field, what is criteria to use the estimation motion parameters, and how to search the motion parameters. So these three questions must be answered in a motion estimation. Okay. Now the motion representation. So the topmost right hand side block, you can able to see the entire motion field is represented by a few global parameters. The topmost right hand side, you can see it's a pixel based. It's a pixel based. That arrow represents a motion of that individual pixel. Motion of that individual pixel. The bottom left hand box, it is block based. Okay, so we have divided that image first into small blocks, and now we are estimating the motion or change in location of the pixel, right? And the bottom rightmost block, it's a region based, right? It's a region based. So you are having global based motion estimation, or sorry, motion representation. You can use for a single pixel based, you can use block based, or you can choose the region based motion representation. Region based means what? We have chosen this region. This is the first region, and this is the next part is remaining part is the second region, and in that region we can represent a motion representation. Okay, now we will talk about the motion estimation criteria. Okay, that means some mathematics behind this motion estimation. So first we have to understand to minimize the displayed frame difference. Okay, first we have to minimize the displayed frame difference. So we have to use this equation. Okay, then to satisfy the optical equation. So following equation, that means this equation you can use to satisfy the optical equation. To impose additional smoothness constraints using regularization technique, okay, you can go for these mathematical techniques. Okay, see, derivation part is not there in your syllabus. You have just these equations, and this is also for sake of your understanding. Okay, the question may be come the question may become like just what are the motion estimation, and explain in detail. So you have to write each and every point in detail. That is only expected. Okay, now relation among different criteria. So we have studied these three criteria. Okay, now what is relation between these three these criteria? So optical flow OF, that means optical flow criteria, is good only if motion is small, right? Optical flow criteria is good only if motion is small. Second point, optical flow criteria can often yield closed form solution as the objective function is quadratic in MVS. That means mean value square. Okay, mean values. Third point, when the motion is not small, that means motion is large. That means there is a large difference, or there is a what you can say large traverse in that pixel, then it can iterate the solution based on the optical flow criteria to satisfy the DFD criteria. To satisfy the DFD criteria. Next, basin criteria can be reduced to the DFD criteria plus motion smoothness constraints. Okay, so these are the relation amongst different criteria. And now, depending upon your application and your interest, you can choose any criteria, or you can choose more than one criteria. So that is totally depending upon the your application and how motion is happening, right? And for that, first we have to understand the motion vectors. For that, first we have to understand the motion vectors. From that motion vectors, you have to go for a motion representation, and then by what you can say, by analyzing how motion is happening, that means whether it is a small or large motion, then you have to choose the appropriate criteria, and this is how you can go for motion estimation. Now we will talk about the optimization methods, right? Means there are some optimization methods based on the previous criteria. So exhaustive search, this is the first one. What is there in this exhaustive search? Typically used for DFD criteria. Second, it guarantees reaching the global optimal. Third, computation required may be unacceptable when number of parameters to search simultaneously is large. And the fourth one, fast search algorithms reach suboptimal solution in shorter time. Okay, this is the first you can say algorithm, exhaustive search. Next one is a gradient based search. Okay, आपण आता हे अल्गोरिदम बाबत बोलतोय की different algorithms that can be used for the motion estimation or optimized motion estimation. So second one is a gradient based search. Okay, what is this gradient based search? So this typically used for a DFD or optical flow criteria. Okay, gradient can often be calculated analytically. That means you have to analyze and you have to calculate the gradient. When used with the optical flow criteria, closed form solution may be obtained. Okay, when this gradient based search is used with the optical flow, then there is a great chances that you can obtain a closed form solution, right? Reaches the local optimum point closest to the initial solution. Okay, third algorithm or third method, you can say it's a multi-resolution search. Okay, that means exhaustive search, gradient based search, and multi resolution search. These are the three basic methods that can be used for the optimized motion estimation. Now, what is there in this multi resolution search? So this multi resolution search, this search form coarse to fine resolution faster than exhaustive search, and it avoids being trapped into a local minimum. Okay, that means as compared to a exhaustive search, this multi-resolution search has a faster speed, right? This multi-resolution search has a faster speed. Okay, and as compared to this gradient-based search, it is not getting trapped into a local minimum values. Okay, so if you compare these three, the multi-resolution search is always gives the better performance. Okay, now we will talk about the region of support. Okay, next point, that is the region of supports. What is this region of supports? So region of supports gives the operating area of estimation model. Okay, this region of supports gives the operating area of estimation models. Smaller the region support, better is the approximation of motion and higher the precision, right? Now what are the types? Global region support is there, pixel based region support is there, block based region support is there, and object based region support is there. The same thing we have discussed in motion representation. Okay, so this is the region of support. So the same point we have discussed. Okay, this global region support, the entire frame is a region of support. That means when you consider a global, you have to consider the entire frame and you have to estimate the motions within that frame. Okay, it is used in a case of entire frame is affected by the similar kind of motion. That means if entire frame is affected by a similar kind of motion, this is global region support is used. Next one is a pixel based region support. Okay, what is this pixel based region support? It is applied to every single image point. जसं मी मगाशी सांगितलं, हा जो पिक्सेल बेस्ड रिजन सपोर्ट आहे तो इंडिव्हिज्युअल पिक्सेल बेस्ड आहे, राइट? इट प्रोड्युसेस वन मोशन वेक्टर पर पिक्सेल, हेन्स प्रोड्युसेस मोशन फील्ड. हा प्रत्येक पिक्सेल साठी, कारण इट्स अ पिक्सेल बेस्ड, इट विल कन्सिडर द सिंगल पिक्सेल अँड इट विल प्रोड्यूस द मोशन वेक्टर फॉर पर पिक्सेल. ग्लोबल मध्ये काय होतं, इट विल प्रोड्यूस अ मोशन वेक्टर फॉर दॅट एंटायर फ्रेम. इट विल प्रोड्यूस अ मोशन वेक्टर फॉर दॅट एंटायर फ्रेम. इथं तसं नाही, इंडिव्हिज्युअल पिक्सेल साठी मोशन वेक्टर रिप्रेझेंट करावा लागतो, अँड दॅट्स वाय द नेम पिक्सेल बेस्ड रिजन. अँड द थर्ड पॉइंट इन दिस पिक्सेल बेस्ड region support is it is possible to represent 2D motion of each point across successive frames. Okay, it is possible to represent a 2D motion of each point across successive frames. Okay, third type, block based region support. Now what is this block based region support? So the entire frame is divided into a non-overlapping blocks, a very small blocks. Okay, so this entire image, that means that entire frame is divided into non-overlapping block. Every block have a separate motion vector. म्हणजे इथे प्रत्येक ब्लॉक साठी एक वेक्टर असणार आहे. ग्लोबल मध्ये काय होता, एका फ्रेम साठी एक वेक्टर. पिक्सेल बेस्ड मध्ये काय होता, प्रत्येक पिक्सेल साठी एक वेक्टर. आता इथं ब्लॉक बेस्ड मध्ये काय, प्रत्येक ब्लॉक साठी एक मोशन वेक्टर. प्रत्येक ब्लॉक साठी एक मोशन वेक्टर, राइट? And because of its simplicity, it is widely used. बरोबर आहे. If you divide entire frame into small regions and for each block you have a single motion vector, it's very easy even to calculate the motion estimation. And the last, that is the object based region support. So in this entire any arbitrary region is considered. म्हणजे त्या फ्रेम मधला कुठलाही एक region of your interest तो consider केला जातो, right? Any arbitrary shape within that frame. That means the entire frame is ब्रोकन इंटू इरेग्युलर रिजन्स, म्हणजे ती पूर्ण फ्रेम त्या डिफरंट रिजन्स मध्ये सेपरेट केली जाते किंवा डिव्हाइड केली जाते. अँड फॉर दॅट एव्हरी arbitrary shape region, you have a one motion vector. You have a one motion vector. This model is used in a MPG4 advanced model. Okay, so this kind of motion estimation is used for the MPG4 advanced model. Okay, now pixel based, if you talk about this pixel based motion estimation, so there you can use the Horn and Shanks method. That means optical flow plus smoothness criteria. Then you can use multi-point neighborhood method. This is the second method that you can use for the pixel based motion estimation, right? In this multi-point neighborhood method, you can assume every pixel in a small block surrounding a pixel has the same mean value, MV, that means the mean value. You have a third method, that is the Pell recursive method, right? For the pixel based motion estimation, you have this Pell recursive method. So what we are doing in this Pell recursive method, so for a minimum value for a current Pell is updated from those of its previous Pells, right? And what is Pell? It can be a pixel only, right? It can be that dot or pixel only, and it is developed for early generation of video coder, right? This Pell recursive method is developed for early generation of the video coder. Now, third one is a motion estimation algorithm. Okay, third one is a motion estimation algorithm. What is this motion estimation algorithm? So, motion estimation can be achieved by the phase correlation method, optical flow equation, or block matching method. Okay, this motion estimation algorithm can be of two types. See, these are now whatever the pixel based estimation. So these are the sub parts of this motion estimation. Depending upon your application, you can choose any one. And previous that criteria also you have to choose. That means flow कसा आहे तुमच्या लक्षात आला का मोशन एस्टिमेशनचा? First, you have to define a motion vector based on the pixel based, region based. After defining a motion vector, you can go for some criteria, right? Different mathematical tools, that means optical flow plus smoothing criteria, optical flow plus DVD method. This is the second step, and then you can go for this motion estimation algorithm. So there are three types of motion estimation algorithms: phase correlation method, optical flow equation, and block matching. Now, first we will discuss that is a phase correlation method. Okay. Now, what is there in this phase correlation method? So, this phase correlation method, frequency domain motion estimation technique is used. Okay. In this, because it is dealing with the phase of that particular frame or particular signal, and where you can able to get the phase, but obviously in frequency domain. In spatial domain, you are not able to get the phase value, right? To get the frequency and phase value, you have to go for a frequency domain only. So it's a frequency domain motion estimation technique, then used to estimate the relative translation motion between two successive and hence similar frame. Third point, based on Fourier shift property, right? That means it is based on the Fourier shift property. And what is this Fourier shift property? Shift in a spatial domain results in a linear phase difference in a frequency domain. म्हणजे स्पॅशियल डोमेन मध्ये एखादा शिफ्ट असेल तर इट कॅन बी रिप्रेझेंट अ लिनियर फेज डिफरन्स इन अ फ्रिक्वेन्सी डोमेन. सो इट्स अ बेसिक Fourier property or Fourier shift property. Fourth point, you can say it provides straightforward estimation translation, right? It provides straightforward estimation of translation motion between estimation of translation motion between two frames. Okay. Fifth point, uses normalized cross correlation function to calculate the shift between two blocks. Okay. It uses the normalized cross correlation function to calculate the shift between two blocks. Second technique or second algorithm that we can say is the optical flow equation. Okay. Now, what is this optical flow equation? So first thing, spatio-temporal domain motion estimation technique. Okay, this technique you can use in a spatial domain only, or you need not to shift your image into a frequency domain. Okay, so it is a spatial domain technique. Second, pixel movement in two relative images or displacement vector is called optical flow vector. Okay, so pixel movement in a two relative images or displacement vector is called optical flow vector. It finds the direction gradient. Okay, it finds the direction gradient where you are getting the where you are actually getting the direction, म्हणजे तो पिक्सेल कुठल्या डायरेक्शन मध्ये त्याची मोशन मूव झालेली आहे, राईट. तर ते इथे एस्टिमेट करतो. सेकंड थर्ड पॉइंट, बिकॉज ऑफ हाय फ्रेम रेट brightness across successive frame is considered as a constant. Okay, and it is called as brightness constancy assumption. बरोबर आहे. म्हणजे ह्या अल्गोरिदम मध्ये आपण हे जे सगळे पॉइंट जे डिस्कस करतोय ते त्याचे स्पेसिफिकेशन्स आहेत और स्टेप्स आहेत की त्या अल्गोरिदम मध्ये आपण काय करतो एक्झॅक्टली. तर फर्स्ट दॅट अल्गोरिदम इज युज्ड इन स्पॅशियल डोमेन. सेकंड, त्याच्यात पिक्सेल मुवमेंट जे असते तो आपण पहिले ऑप्टिकल फ्लो वेक्टर कॅल्क्युलेट करतो. नंतर we are finding the gradients to calculate the direction. Third, we are calculating or we are estimating the frame rate, right? That is the brightness across successive frame. It is considered as a constant. That means these are the specifications that we are assuming to calculate the optical flow equation. And the last optical flow equation is f of xyt is equal to f in bracket x plus dx. That means a difference of that. Then y plus dy, that is the difference of that. Then f plus dt, that is difference between the type, right? So we are exactly calculating the differences, derivatives of that particular thing. Third algorithm is a block matching method. Okay, now what is this block matching method? So in this block matching method, so it first again, this block matching method is also we are calculating in a spatial domain. Okay, we are using or we are applying this method for a spatial domain. Then the block of pixels from reference frame is matched using suitable matching formula. What assumption? Image is composed of moving blocks. So this assumption we are making, this assumption we are assuming, and then we are applying this block of pixels from reference frame is matching using a suitable matching formula. Then large similarity in successive frame is existing, so entire new frame is not scanned. Prefer to search a similar window of smaller size. It is easy to implement and it is used for a video compression standard as MPEG. Okay, so in MPEG we are using this block matching method to compress the video signal, and these are the steps in that block matching method. Okay, now search techniques, that means where that pixel has shifted. So we have to estimate that. It's a search technique also, means whether there is motion estimation, and if it is there, where actually it is what you can say shifted. Okay, so searching for the best match is computational and expensive. Okay, so for this block matching technique we are using the best match. Okay, now how to find this best match? So this is depending upon this search technique. Reduction in time required for a motion estimation is important. This is a very good point. Then types: exhaustive search block matching algorithm and hierarchical search block matching algorithm. So what is this exhaustive search block matching algorithm? So it is used for a block based motion compensation. Then each block from search window is compared to a current block and best possible match is considered. म्हणजे हे जे टेक्निक आहे ते आता आपण त्या जो आपण तिसरा अल्गोरिदम पाहिला ब्लॉक बेस्ड मोशन एस्टिमेशन, त्याच्यासाठी जे सर्च टेक्निक्स आहेत त्यासाठी पण हे 3 अल्गोरिदम्स आहेत. कुठकुठले? एक्झॉस्टिव्ह अँड सेकंड वन इज अ हायरार्चिकल. हे 2 अल्गोरिदम. मग त्या एक्झॉस्टिव्ह सर्च ब्लॉक मॅचिंग अल्गोरिदम मध्ये आपण काय करतो? पहिले आपल्याला माहिती आहे आधी बेसिकली ब्लॉक बेस्ड मोशन म्हणजे काय? आपण त्या एंटायर फ्रेमला छोट्या छोट्या ब्लॉक मध्ये डिवाइड करतो. Each block has a single motion vector. Okay, now each block from a search window is compared to a current block and best possible match is considered. म्हणजे प्रत्येक ब्लॉक, राईट, each block from a search window, म्हणजे सर्च विंडो मधला प्रत्येक ब्लॉक इज कंपेअर्ड टू अ करंट ब्लॉक, तो करंट ब्लॉकशी कंपेअर केला जातो अँड बेस्ट पॉसिबल मॅच फाइंड केला जातो. म्हणजे जो तुमचा व्हॉट यू कॅन से जी सर्च विंडो आहे त्या सर्च विंडोशी करंट ब्लॉक कंपेअर केला जातो, राईट. each block from the search window, त्या सर्च विंडो मधला, सी दिस इज द सर्च विंडो, दिस डॉटेड लाईन इज द सर्च विंडो. मग ह्यातला हा प्रत्येक ब्लॉक हा या करंट ब्लॉकशी कंपेअर केला जातो आणि ह्या ब्लॉक मधला जो ह्याच्यात बेस्ट मॅच असेल दॅट इज दॅट वी विल टेक आउट ॲज अ बेस्ट मॅच, राईट. दॅट इज विल टेक आउट ॲज अ मॅच विंडो. बरोबर आहे. ही सर्च विंडो आहे आणि ह्यातला हा प्रत्येक ब्लॉक जो आहे तो या करंट ब्लॉकशी कंपेअर केला जातो अँड देन वी आर डिसाइडिंग द बेस्ट मॅच. That means best match block, best match block. Okay, so this is the how this exhaustive search algorithm works. Okay, this is the example of this exhaustive search algorithm. Okay, this is the search window, this dotted line is a search window. Okay, in this search window, this each block is compared with the this current block and then we are estimating the best possible match, best possible match of the block, right. Best possible match of for that block, right. Now what are the pros and cons of this method? So blocking effect in the predicted image. Okay, that means discontinuity across block boundaries happens. That this pros and cons म्हणजे काय की याचे advantages आणि disadvantages काय आहेत. Then motion fields somewhat chaotic, right. In some cases the motion field is somewhat chaotic, that means itself is not clear. Then how the comparison result will also lead to a what you can say not that accurate, comparison. जर का तुमचा जो ब्लॉक तुम्ही कन्सिडर करत आहात, बरोबर आहे, बेस्ट मॅच फाइंड आउट करण्यासाठी, तोच जर का परफेक्ट नसेल तर तुम्ही सगळे ब्लॉक कंपेअर करून सुद्धा तुम्हाला अॅक्युरेट रिझल्ट मिळणार नाही. सो मोशन फील्ड इज समवॉट chaotic. त्यामुळे मोशन फील्ड हॅज टू बी अ गुड. इफ इट इज chaotic then this algorithm, that means this exhaustive search algorithm will not work properly. Okay, there is a wrong mean value in a flat region. Okay, it will always give a wrong mean value in a flat region. So these are the some disadvantages or the what you can say drawback of this exhaustive search algorithm, and that's why we have this second, that means hierarchical search method or hierarchical search algorithm. What is this hierarchical search algorithm? It is also known as pyramidal motion estimation. Okay, it is also known as pyramidal motion estimation or binary feature matching. परीक्षेत तुम्हाला कुठल्याही प्रश्न विचारू शकतात की explain the pyramidal motion estimation algorithm or explain the binary feature matching method or explain the hierarchical search method. It is one and the same thing. Hierarchical search method, pyramidal motion estimation and binary feature matching, one and the same thing. It is widely applied and popular. Reduces computational load. It reduces computational load. Both frames, that means reference and candidate frames, undergoes a process of size and resolution reduction. That means both frames, target frame सुद्धा म्हणजे तुमची candidate frame सुद्धा आणि reference frame सुद्धा, that undergoes a process of size and resolution reduction. Okay, now what are the what actually happening in this hierarchical search method? So motion is estimated from lower level to higher resolution. Okay, as like this, we are transferring from this lower level to higher level. Lower resolution gives rough estimation and it is made fine-tuned in a higher resolution. Lower resolution gives rough estimation and it is made fine-tuned in a higher resolution. Multi-resolution analysis is used, right? Multi-resolution analysis is used. Frames are broken into different resolution using Laplacian pyramid or wavelet transform, right? These frames are broken into a different resolution by using Laplacian pyramid or wavelet transform. We have studied in two-dimensional transform. Wavelet transform we are using to divide image into a small windows or small parts, right? For that we are using the wavelet transform. So purpose is same here. Then we will talk about this multi-resolution motion estimation. Okay, that algorithm we have discussed. Now what happening in this multi-resolution motion estimation? So various motion estimation approaches used for a error minimization, right? Various motion estimation approaches used for a error minimization. So there are two major difficulties we are facing. What is that? Usually the minimization function is a local minimum, right? Difficult to synchronize with a global minimum. This is the first difficulty. And second difficulty is computation process for minimization is very high. Computation process for minimization is very high. So multi-resolution approach for motion estimation is found, right? So multi-resolution approach for motion estimation is always used. This is the general formulation of this multi-resolution motion estimation. Raw image frames are derived with reduced resolution by spatial low pass filter. Then bottom level is original image. Then the motion field between a corresponding level is a pyramid is estimated and starting from top level. Thus the resolution is reduced by half horizontally and half vertically. म्हणजे रिझॉल्युशन जे आहे ते हॉरिझॉन्टली हाफ रिड्यूस झालेलं आहे आणि व्हर्टिकली हाफ रिड्यूस झालेलं, राईट? And this is the features of this multi resolution. That's why the name multi resolution. का multi resolution? तर ह्याच्यात the resolution we are reducing half vertically and half horizontally, and that's why the name multi resolution. Okay, now the last point is the video compression. Okay, so how actually we are performing the video compression operation. So this is a typical block diagram for a video compression. So first you have an image block, then you have an additive, then you have a DCT. आठवत असेल तर बघा तुम्हाला डिस्क्रीट कोसाइन ट्रान्सफॉर्म त्याच्या ऍडव्हान्टेजेस मध्ये आपण शिकलो होतो. इट इज यूज्ड फॉर अ व्हिडिओ कॉम्प्रेशन. सो सेम DCT थिंग वी आर युजिंग हियर, डिस्क्रीट कोसाइन ट्रान्सफॉर्म. देन यू हैव अ क्वांटाइजर, then you have a variable length coding algorithm, then you have a buffer, and finally you have a encoded block. Okay, now this encoded block is again filled to a quantizer using rate controller. Okay, that means frame rate we have to control. This is the inverse quantizer IDCT, that means inverse discrete cosine transform, and this block is nothing but encoded motion vector. Okay, from this we are generating the encoded motion vector. Okay, again you have the motion estimation algorithm, again you have this variable length coding algorithm, and this is what finally you are actually encoded block. That means this is the compressed video, right? This is the uncompressed video, this is the compressed video with encoded motion vector. Okay, now applications of the video compression. आता हे व्हिडिओ कॉम्प्रेशन कुठे कुठे ह्याचे ऍप्लिकेशन्स आहेत? सो इन मल्टीमीडिया, बरोबर आहे. तुम्हाला एखादी फाईल जेव्हा ट्रान्सफर करायची असते तेव्हा तुम्हाला हे व्हिडिओ कॉम्प्रेशन वापरावं लागतं फॉर ट्रान्समिशन. कारण बट ऑब्वियस आहे, इफ यू ट्रान्सफर ॲज इट इज, सो इट इज ऑफ मच साइज, right? It requires a very large space and that won't serve the purpose. So for that purpose you have to use this multimedia used to reduce the frame to frame redundancies. Okay, this compression is used to reduce the frame to frame redundancies. Okay, and here we have finished with the your unit number 7 and your overall syllabus. If you have any doubt in this unit, you can ask me right now, otherwise we will stop here. This is very small unit as compared to unit number 6. Okay, and total theoretical unit. In your exam, only theoretical questions are asked, no derivatives, no mathematical equation. All of you are clear with this unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we will stop here.